I had to run into the city this morning to pick up some parts, run a couple errands. Just got back. I have parts. Yeah, I got all kinds of parts. I got the chain, the coupling chain to fix the snowblower. I tried several stores around. Couldn't get it without buying a 10-foot length of it, and I only needed about a foot. I just had to drive into the city to get it, but I got to the right store and got the chain for that. And my drive clutch parts for the Polaris delivered, so I had to go get them at the post office. Since I was into the city there, stopped in at the cat dealership and picked up my replacement windows. When I was doing tree moving and brush pile hauling, I ended up popped the window. It's tempered glass, so a little pressure in a focus point, it just shatters. So I got all kinds of parts. Now I can go to fixing for a minute and try to figure out some systems for putting in our drywall. That should be all of the drywall we need for the ceiling. They're 12-foot sheets. There's 25 sheets, and if I counted them right, we should be about 3.5 sheets long and 7 rows, just under 7 rows. So we're gonna sheet the whole thing before I put these walls up, mostly because that will make the ceiling come together a lot cleaner. They're gonna be 6-inch walls because that's the battery room and food storage, and so I want to have that insulated really well so that it's easy to isolate the temperature in that room. So we'll just have space heat on the 2 rooms, and so they're going to be insulated pretty well for that, especially after the last couple of days where we had all of our pipes freeze in the bathhouse. But I think what we're going to do is change the layout a little bit. We've got some ideas that we've been talking about. We're kind of kicking around some plans and drawings. I'll spend some time getting those thoughts and ideas drawn out on paper, and then we'll be able to visit those plans and discuss them and revisit them several times between now and summer before we actually implement them. But for now, we quickly threw the chain coupling onto the snowblower to get it out of here and out of the way so we could move the Ranger over to make room to get the clutch parts put on. I didn't spend any real amount of time going deep down the rabbit hole of high-performance aftermarket parts for this Ranger. Fancy! The fact is, it's a little 570 motor, and we run around in low range all the time, and we pretty much just use it getting around our place. So I didn't want to spend a lot of time going deep into weight sizes and spring sizes and helix shapes and all those kind of things that you can easily spend hours and hours digging into. I just wanted a good, reliable, bolt-on ready clutch assembly that would do the job without any problems. It all went together very straightforward and easy. In fact, I spent more time trying to get the new plastic housing to fit appropriately than I did actually putting the clutch together. And now with this all-important tool back up and running, we could finally get on to starting the drywall in the ceiling. We decided to start in the corner of the ceiling that's over the kitchen, simply because the floor up there is close enough to the ceiling that we can reach it.
I'll need taller shoes.
Logan, can you come up? Yeah. I'm gonna help you.
Hang on, honey, I'm coming. You got
Right here?
Yeah, come closer to me.
Come closer to Mom.
Okay, go up. Hold that tight like that. Oh crap, I need taller shoes.
No, you're by yourself, just in case one of us gets tired.
You're just a little short on one end, huh?
Yeah.
I guess I should say that most of us could reach it. Either way, it was going to give us an opportunity to get many sheets up and get started figuring out a little bit of a process and getting a rhythm together. We figured we could get at least the first 3 rows started. Since we were going to offset the sheets by half a sheet, that meant that we could comfortably reach the first 2 full sheets, then 1.5, and then 1 in their respective rows, and have it stair step back. We could do all this from the floor without any special efforts trying to reach it. Ola has a pretty good fear of being up in high places, and since she's a little short on one end, she ended up on the ladder this time. It didn't take long for her sitting in that position before she started to get lightheaded and feel a little bit sick. So she sat down for a minute to settle herself and regain color, while we made an effort to give her the taller shoes that she asked for by means of raising the platform on this scaffold and bringing it over for her to stand on. That'll give her a lot more stable base and she won't feel so woozy. That little bit made all the difference in the world. She felt a lot more stable and could actually reach it comfortably. Having all 3 of them hold this sheet without straining so heavily made it a lot easier for me to work around them screwing in all the screws to get it held into place. After their little celebratory dances, and I finished screwing in this sheet, we decided to put up a little bit of a bump rail on the outside of this wall just to make sure that everybody was safe. We didn't want to have people holding the sheet looking up, focused there, and take a little stutter step to the side or something and mistakenly step off the edge. So we put a rail at about hip height and one at foot height just to keep your toes in as well. This was the last sheet we would get up for the night, and it was the last one that we could comfortably reach without having to do some kind of creative effort in order to get the sheets against the ceiling. That little bit of ingenuity would wait until tomorrow to get figured out and be resolved. We had initially thought that we would probably use the loader with the pallet forks to raise several sheets of drywall up as high as it would lift, and then while standing on the scaffolds, be able to take from that stack and raise them to the ceiling and hold them in place, just as we had done on the floor. However, instead of doing that, we got a crazy idea and wanted to try something else first. We stuck the forks through the outrigger legs on this jack and got it situated so that it was balanced and stable, and then we lashed it down with some good ropes to make sure that it was stabilized and in place and wasn't going to move anywhere. After double checking the ropes to make sure that they're lashed nice and tight, we went ahead and got into position to see if it would reach, if we could get positioned well, if everything was going to work out, and then also to raise it up and down a couple of times to make sure that we felt good about everything. With that little bit of a test run out of the way, we decided, let's get a sheet on there and give it a shot. Almost immediately, we decided this was going to work, this was going to be the way, and it was game on. Been a little under the weather the last couple of days. Ola was sick first. And as she got over it, I got into it. So I haven't been as productive on things. I've been trying to rest, but then I get restless. I think today I'm going to go ahead and pull the snow blower off, put the loader back on so that we can go back to our contraption here for lifting up the drywall sheets to the ceiling. This is our drywall jack that we bought when we did our house. It works great. The only problem is it only lifts to 11.5 feet from the ground. And the ceiling in here is 15.5. So we had thought that we would probably rent a platform scissor lift and use that in here to install the ceiling. We opted out of that. I don't think I could tow a trailer up. And those scissor lifts don't do very well on snow and ice when they're self-propelled. So we decided to use our jack. I know it's not OSHA, but we've got it lashed to the forks on the support legs. Can't go anywhere. It's all lashed up to those forks, and the forks are solid to the tractor. We raised that up 4 or 5 feet to make up the difference, and then crank it up by hand to get it up to the ceiling. We tried it out on this 2 sheets here and here. It was a little slower, and it was a little bit awkward at first, but it was very effective. At this point, we're like day 6 since we started hanging the drywall. And we've had the loader on and off a couple of times because of other things, like more snow that needed to be blown and feed for the animals and a few things like that. Ultimately, I'll end up getting that footage put together and shown as well, but I wanted to keep this video pretty focused on just the drywall hanging. Ultimately, it ends up taking us 12 days from start to finish, with all the interruptions and things going on in between.
If you had a glimpse inside my head, you'd know I'm different than you. What works for you might not work for me, 'cause that's our solid ground. I'll build a life that helps me thrive. I hope you're doing the same. Through my eyes I see different than you. Together we open new worlds. Different eyes lead to new heights, new views. Together we color the world. Discovering self to know how to grow. Genius takes many shades. Truth is we all need to open our minds. Normal doesn't exist. Learn what you need and how you see. Lean deep in your strength.
Before we got going down this row of drywall too far, I wanted to take a minute and get this ceiling fan support bracket and box installed. This is right where we're going to have the ceiling fan for the shop, and it's pretty centrally located in the main space of the shop. I'm not going to have several, just the one is going to be plenty, and I plan on getting about a 6-foot fan. That's going to allow me to move all the air I could ever want to move. If I have my dump truck in here or one of my pieces of equipment that throw out a lot of exhaust and I need to ventilate it, I can open the windows, a couple of doors, kick on the fan, and quickly evacuate all of that exhaust. In the wintertime, the little squirrel cage fan on the back of the wood stove will blow the air through the little built-in air duct and direct it right towards that fan. If I kick that fan on as well, it will draw that heat and push it down and push it around the building. I'm not worried about how much air that's going to move. It'll do it all. Okay, Have, get up here.
But look at this dog.
Hey, $1 waiting on a dime. Let's go.
You want me to come up there with you?
Yeah.
Or just like come up there?
Yes.
Like,
Oh my gosh. This kid.
Mark, your face is covered in the mic.
Uh-huh.
Where did you pick this hobo off the streets?
Mouthy teenagers. What we're gonna do with them this generation. Okay, we need that drywall. Logan?
Mm-hmm.
Careful with that little piece right there, Logan.
Okay. This one?
Yeah, hand that one to me. I'll take it. Put it over here.
I'm gonna put that one up right now.
Because it'll go in better.
Noun, right?
Yep.
You can lay it down,
You
buddy.
gotta lay it down the other direction, so. Flip it over. Flip it up. This is the most awkward I've ever seen it done. Okay, now I'll take your side, Logan.
Okay.
Just go up, man, over your head. That way you're not feeling like it's gonna push you over. Go right to the end and push it down so we know it's against. Good? Good?
Yeah.
Ever see you holding that piece of sheetrock with your head, too?
Tall enough, he probably is. I gotta get better at this screw gun. Apparently, I gotta get better at aiming too. Yeah. We all right, huh?
No.
Yeah, but okay. This gun's good. If I was any good, it would really be better. Okay, and then that ring that's on the pipe down here snaps up into place here,
Oh, it looked nice.
like a 2.5 or 3 inch circle all the way around to kind of trim that. So the next couple are just straight. There's nothing to cut till we hit the ceiling fan.
Okay.
So it's good. Yeah.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on the midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes 1, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet dream. The shadows of that time are cast beneath the streetlight beam. As the world moves on, time sings a song. Don't cry, don't cry. As the days move along,
It's a bright, beautiful, clear, sunny day. It's chilly, but not so bad in the sun. And we just finished putting the last piece of drywall into the ceiling. Super Bowl Sunday, and Ola has to work today. So while she's working, the boys and I came up this morning and got started on the last 2 rows of ceiling drywall. And they were just rock stars with me today, so we just banged it out real quick. We got them up. It was kind of a crazy way to get it raised to the ceiling, but we went over all kinds of ways of how we were going to do that. Landed on what we did, and I tell you what, it just worked. We were able to get through it and get it all done. That's so nice to have that ceiling done. I can't even tell you how nice that is. Just the weight off the shoulders of it. Literally and figuratively, I guess. We're done. We're going to call it a day. It's still, I think it's only like 1 o'clock. Still got a few hours before the game starts. Watch the game and hang out for the rest of the evening.